Hello. Today's February 22, 2021. I'm trying to explain about my foot injury that I had back in 2016. I had 2 foot that was in very bad condition and infected. Just to show you a picture of one, as I'm explaining, this is my left foot. I mean my right foot, as you see it there. I had both of them like that. And this is my left foot. I had both of them like that. This kind of pain, nobody can walk on this kind of pain. And that's what it was, what it looked like at the time. Real roped up, swollen, torn tissue, no skin, barely going down to the muscle. Look how that part right here got deteriorated, got it rotted up right in here. See that? That happened after I got out the hospital. I tried to rest in on it. Did you see it swollen? I couldn't barely walk. But the problem was with this, as you see, I got 2 of them wrapped up when I went to the hospital. I got to the hospital one day on December 8th, 2016, because my life came to a halt. A lot of people didn't understand what the heck I'm trying to tell them. What is freezing half to death with 2-foot wound? That's a lot of pain. This pain that I went through was no ordinary pain. It was a big major problem I had. It's tragedy. It's a lot of pain that rushes to my head. You know? This pain here, where the toe area at right here, one day just was in a slanted bent, you know? Like your foot is bent and it locked up on me. Cramped it up, got frozen that way in the freezing cold, which I was already freezing, still trying to manage on that. So the pain in there kept knocking. You know, that's the pain doing like that. And there. Then it shook my whole body up. And I'm sitting there taking all that pain, hoping that pain will go away. But I was already freezing, the foot's already swollen, had no torn tissues. That's all pain in there. My pain nerve system is dead, reaching up to my head, cramping up, stiffening up my head, putting me blind and hard of hearing. And I couldn't speak. I try to explain this, nobody understands it. Nobody understands it. What is hypothermia? I had like hypothermia system. I was freezing for 4 months. September, October, November, December. And November, when that problem happened with my foot driving in pain, once the pain like kind of chilled down for a bit and my foot can lay flat instead of being frozen, stuck like that, arched, my whole body just drained it down on me. I couldn't barely move, man. It's like you got nothing left in your life. So I went ahead, had a choice to either go back home, forget about going to the store, but I needed something to drink and didn't want to get up in the morning. And I was 2 houses down from a friend's house that I got acquainted with. And they weren't home at the time. I actually didn't really check. I just couldn't barely move. So I said, you know what? So I'm going to the store. So from the freezing in the cold weather I was already in and what I was already suffering from the foot, you know, Just because this happened, I already had major problem. This is the biggest problem. So I went further out. Now that pain that was shivering up my body and cramping up my head so bad, I couldn't go any further what it was. So as I went to the store, the cold weather, going to the warm weather, then coming back out to the cold weather, as you know, you're buying something, going in and out, because I was already gone at the moment. So as I walked out the store, across the street, the first block of the first house, at the end of the block, I just blacked out. I try to explain this on text, and nobody understands that either. So I got blacked out totally, and then and that's where I dropped dead, and then I fell right in that spot, as you see it, where I marked the X near the driveway. I was right there in that spot where I got blacked out. I try to figure out if I got blacked out as I was walking, standing, because sometimes that happens, and then that's where you fall out. I don't know. One thing I know, everything went boom. That's it. Only thing I remember, I couldn't see. I was blurry blinded. I couldn't tell what's the fence, what's the pole, what's the grass, what's the cement, nothing. I was totally blinded out, knocked out, unconscious, unresponsive there for a while. See, in the distance from the store. See, that's the store way over here. If I can blow, wait a minute, that's the store right there. That's the furthest I walked from that store to there, and that's where I passed out. And these people don't understand this, and they keep talking some lot of bullcrap over it. I don't know why. As I'm sitting there, I can't see. The only thing that I know, I was hearing crunches in my head at the moment, and then I heard creepy noise. Because when you're unconscious, you don't know what the heck's going on. I hear some creepy noise going on. Then as I'm laid out in there, the only thing that I remember was the presence in your mind's feeling. I feel somebody approaches, but you're really knocked out, your head's feeling weird. And then I assume it was a car. And I said it was a car. I think it was like an SUV or something that pulled up beside of me. You know, in the driveway area. See, this is the driveway area. Let me see if I can see it here. Right here. That's the driveway area. You know? And then I'm just sitting there, blinded out, can't hear, can't see nothing. But hearing noises, weird ass noises, crunches noises. And then at the moment, as I was struggling out of this unconscious moment, I assumed the person that stopped there, I don't know who, the person who stopped there thought that I was okay, but I wasn't. See, they didn't know I had a chronic foot pain. See, that's the problem I had. So I guess he approaches, I was like, I guess lifting up my neck. You know how you lift your neck up and you're trying to arch up, sitting up? I guess that's when he just hopped inside his car and then he left by that movement. That's when I'm figuring. I don't know how in the world I got up. I don't know how in the world I dropped dead because my mind was gone totally, mentally, me, and physically. Now that's what I try to recover from, the unconscious moment. Nobody still understands that part. So as I'm finally like standing up, everything's all blacked out of me, blurry, blinded. I look back at the store, I see nobody. I seen around my presence, I see nobody. I said, I just don't know. I said, okay. I looked down and I see my 2 liter pop on the floor. So I just picked up the bag slowly. And the part of how I felt, nobody really knows. Unconscious, trying to get up from an unconscious knockout. There's a lot of problems you have to deal with. Your body is weak. My head still hurts. I'm in different kind of pain. My foot pain's still there. That's a deep pain I was going through. I'm weak. So I said, let me go ahead and just hurry up and get home. As I'm going home, as I'm nearby my house, I heard a phone ring and somebody, and I believe I answered it, but I'm not too sure what was really going on. And I was speaking to Edgar on the phone. I don't know how in the hell, I don't know how in the world I answer my phone. But I was talking to him and he says, hey, he was saying something about his dog. He had a dog. And he says his dog had shivering. And he had to take the dog to the vet. I said, man, boy, that's so tripped out, man. I said, just now I just had my body went into a shivering problem and I got knocked out in the road unconscious. And that would happen to his dog too. But he lives somewhere else. I said, wow, that's something else. And then I'm sitting there and he said, well, he had to take his dog to the vet and put him to sleep. And then and they had to laid him out. Now that day when they did that, that's the day that happened to me. What happened to my incident. So I tried to tell him. I said, get down here. I need help. I don't know what in the world happened. I ended up getting amnesia. I started getting memory loss. My mind, I didn't know the time and day. I didn't know nothing too much. And I'm talking to him over the phone about that, and then I don't know what happened after that. The conversation kind of died out, and that's it. And I went home. I ended up going home, gently going home. But I'm drained. I still have problems. I had serious problems. Now during that time, I seen what was really happening to me under this foot chronic pain issue while I'm freezing half to death. Because my house, it's cold. Real fucking cold. Because see, at the time I was repairing my house, putting new drywall, new insulation, but I never had the chance to get there yet because of this foot wound. So I decided to call the light service. Might as well hurry up and get the lights, water, and gas on, which I didn't want to put none of that on until the summer. But we're in November. All kinds of bad things were happening to me under my pain. I was actually walking blinded. All that stiffness in my head, can't barely walk and try to manage at it. People try to help in a different way. They try to treat my foot in a bucket, using something like this and peroxide. I try to tell them, I say, you cannot treat people's foot like mine's was serious. That was no minor thing. You cannot treat people's foot in liquid. And then he's going to be back out in the cold area, in the cold weather. Because that cold weather can attack the liquid part and freeze it up in there. That can cause frostbite. It causes more bruises and injuries to it. I try to explain that. That happened to me twice. Then one time, as they were doing the peroxide, they asked me, "Does that hurt?" I said, "No." When I was putting my foot in the peroxide in the foot bucket, I was like in this kind of moment, and they can't hear that. He asked me, "Does that hurt?" I said, "Yes, it does. It hurts." I said, "Can't you hear me mooring on it? That's how much pain that is in there because it's an open cut wound. It's because I'm not screaming it out loud. You know why? Because I'm holding all that inside my mind. For me not to scream it out like that. And then, call back. And then, from there, I really don't know what the situation was, but they were really messing with me under this pain stress mode I was in. Actually, I was really surviving, but they didn't quite understand it. No, but let's get back to where I was falling unconscious. I had I had tried to explain to them they needed to hurry up and come and get me. Nobody came. The time when I put on the lights EBT, I had Edgar stop by one day, visit. I'm still inside that house, frozen half to death, all pained up in my fucking foot, and they didn't see that, and blinded. That what gets me, man. That what trips me out. I try to explain that to them, and they don't understand it. I'm half dead in here suffering in my pain, man. I can't barely move. I can't barely walk. I can't see. He borrowed me 40 bucks. Okay, at the time. So that $40, I'm sitting there. I had a pain issue here that I couldn't see nothing, and my head was like ripping up in the sky as I'm talking to him. He ended up leaving, right? So he borrowed me the 40 bucks. What I did with that 40 bucks, the next day, went straight to this person that sells lawnmower, and he had a kerosene heat for sale. I couldn't carry that, but I did. So he sold it to me for 25 bucks. A little bit of kerosene gas in there, a 5-gallon container, and a $2 container. Some kerosene gas in this one and a little bit in that one. That's a heavy load for me. It's steel. So I kind of talked to him to see if he'll sell it to me and all that. And I understand that costs a little bit more money. For some reason, he eventually convinced and he sold it to me for $25. I said, okay, here, I need it right away. I didn't explain about my foot injury at the time, but he sold it to me. I was very happy for that. But the problem was trying to carry that, what just happened to me the other day, couple days ago, when I dropped dead in the ground. I'm still weak. My head still hurts me. I'm still unbalanced. I was unbalanced and nobody. I had a stiffness in my head that you can't move. I walk with the kerosene, drop it down a little bit. Walk it a little bit, drop it down a little bit. And I'm in pain in my foot. Pick it up again, drop it down a little bit. All the way getting there. And this kerosene helped me out a little bit, but not too much, because that kerosene was really worthless, but it did provide some kind of heat towards me, but in the bad way. It doesn't matter if I had a kerosene heat in my gas, in my house. It wasn't good enough, because I had no drywalls in there. It's not enough closed in where the heat can stay within the room area. They tried so many options. They tried the bathroom area, put a sofa in there, the kerosene heat, put a blanket around the door. I said, that shit don't work like that. I need to get the heck out of here. I was getting memory loss in amnesia. I said, that doesn't work like that. I'm fucking dying in here, man. I can't barely speak. 2-foot wound will cramp you up. That you're like this, and freezing. My house was an ice box, and they know it gets frozen cold in there. It's like the same thing as you being outside, but a little different. What it is about the outside, it's windy, you know, and it's snow. Inside the house, there ain't no snow, but there's still a chilly, windy coldness in there. You know, the kerosene doesn't do no good. I had to get close to the heat and back off the heat. Get close to the heat and back off with the heat. Put my foot up. Put my shoes on there. Try to get it warm. My my wounded my wounded foot. I had to cut the back of the heel here out in order to put my shoes in because my shoes won't fit. I had to cut things out in order for my foot to fit in there and into the shoes. Things were getting real crazy in there. You know, when I felt unconscious, then that's when I wanted the light service on. I called. I made an appointment with the foot doctor down the street, 3 blocks down, 4 blocks down. I was coming to an end that nobody understands what the end was. I don't know what it is because it's me, but I was really half dead. I still got stiffness in my head. I can see my own photos of what I had been through with my foot injury, that is a disaster. And I seen how my presence were. That you can tell I was real ill and painted up. They just don't understand it. You know, I'm unbalanced in there, can't barely move. One day they came in there, I'm all frozen up in there. The lady tried to take care of my foot outside in the cold while I'm still gonna be in my damn house. I said, no. I said, "Yeah, things gotta be happening here. It's cold in here. I'm frozen on my couch barely. I can't really move. A window fell down, the window fell. I had no windows upstairs, now it does. Because I was at that point, at that moment in time, but my foot injury stopped everything. You know, they block up the door, and they can't see that I'm fucking half dead in there. And some of them comes around every once in a great blue moon, but they don't understand it. They're telling me that I'm okay. No, I'm not. I was really half dead in there. What gets me, people try to shut other people's injuries out, and they're fucking totally mentally, physically wrong. And they still play stupid because that's the way they live their life, but I don't. You know, and then try to put things short. Then during the time when EBT came, you know, the electricity came. When I set up the appointment, it was for April 5th. Okay. Another thing was when they came to turn on the meter. Had to show you in the picture what I'm talking about. When they came to snap this ball in, you know, the meter, these top wires up here, which you see what I try to explain, was not connected. It was not connected together. It was still hanging down. Because that meter was just installed, but they had to hook the top wire up. So when they came and they put the ball in there while I was inside my house, she freezing half to death, still going through the same problem. The sickness, the illness, the freezingness, the pain, and all that. They came and put that in, and you know, I know when they come there and come out, you know, they came, they put it in and everything, and they left. I said, good. They put they put the meter in, and then when they did that, I went to click on the lights. No lights yet. I said, why? I said, what the problem is. Then I went to the circuit breaker, switched on the main breaker, and nothing. I said, I don't know. No. So I said, I gotta take a look. So I took a look. I went back there and take a look at it, and I see the wire still hanging down, not connected. That was that was the problem. I thought that they put those on, but I think you have to call them separate for that. I'm not too sure. They did snap the ball in there, but they did not connect the wires on. So I still had no heat in December 5th, 2018. I was like, oh my God, man. I said, no wonder why. I said, now, now I'm over here, didn't know what to do. But at that moment, I took a snapshot of it. I have a photo of it, but I can't pop it up. That particular day, on May 5th, what happened was when I went to turn back, going to the house, I'm checking everything out. My foot swollen. It was already swollen. It was like this big. It was my foot was already swollen up to my knees, my ankles, my foot, my ankle, my calves, and my knees. I didn't want that swollen to come to my hips. I mean to my thighs and to my hips. Or I'm totally really gone. My foot in that pain bumping into a wood or something. You know, I thought it was another nail, but what it was, I bumped into a wood, some wood that I had. There. The swollen foot bump into the wood. That bump put a bruise over top of that swollen, and the swollen reacting in there, and the pain bursted. Boom! And that was it, man. Man, I remembered I was looking at the sky, man, saying, oh my God. I'm just sitting there just looking up at the sky in another world, man. Deja vu. Oh, Lord Jesus Christ, my God. You know, only thing I remember I said, I feel your pain. Oh my God. Man, when I turned around, tried to walk back to my house, I was like a turtle walking back to my house, trying to get up the stairs. That's how slow I was, because that's how much pain I went. That's how much pain of delusion, hallucination, and other things. What a pain does, it's all that pain that did that. I was out. I text somebody. I said, man, I took off my shoe and I looked at it, and my toe in the side of the area was bleeding, slightly, trying to pop up bleeding because that bump. I text somebody and I told them, man, my foot is slightly bleeding. Can you guys hear me? I text people. They don't understand it and they don't care. I can't call them and talk. I couldn't speak now from that pain. But at the same time, remember, I made an appointment with the foot doctor December 8th. Now I'm ready to go to the hospital because I can't hang on. I'm all dizzy. I'm about to fall on the floor. Can't walk. I'm in a delusion state of mind, and I'm about to fall unconscious again. Struggling, fighting this is. I had to wait there from the 5th, the 6th, the 7th, and the 8th. Now I got the gas company coming December 9th, but I said to myself, this is the best time when the gas company comes December 9th to hurry up and show them the meter box where the wire's not connected, for they can help me resolve that problem real quick before it kind of brushes away. But within 3 days, I couldn't wear no shoes no more, suffering in there for 3 days, losing my mind, all pained up, half dead in there, struggling, unbalanced, can't see, my eyes bugging me out, blurry vision, can't hear, a little nightmares a little bit here and there, things feel all creepy. I took my t-shirt, one of my t-shirts, and I had to wrap it around my foot when I went to the foot doctor. So I walked there. It's 4 blocks down. go up there the corner, you make a right, then 4 blocks down, I made it to a foot specialist. Because I already made that appointment with them. Regardless of what, no matter what, I was going to go to the hospital anyway, but I wanted to see them first. But luckily I made the appointment. So I made the appointment, and I went and got there. But I was sitting in the middle of hall that I couldn't move anymore once I sat down. Because I was really frozen half to death, all pained up. You know? So I did make it to my appointment, and I tried to explain to him, I couldn't barely speak. This is true, man. I couldn't talk. My brain was already frozen up, locked up in there. I raised up my foot, took off my cloth, and I'm just trying to tell him, look at it, man. Hurry, you know? But I don't know if they approached me already, because I'm still blinded. There were a couple people in the hallway. 2 of them jumped up. Oh my God, one of them said that. Oh my God, you gotta see a hospital. You have to go to the hospital. You know, I don't know who them people were. Oh my God, you gotta go to the hospital. Somebody came and present at the time. I guess that was the doctor or the assistant nurse that's there. And I kept showing him, the only thing that I heard what he said. At the time, he says, my x-ray, this is what I heard, my x-ray is down. I said, I don't know what you're talking about. I'm trying to listen what he's saying. I'm trying to budge inside the office because my appointment is there. You know, I couldn't move. I was frozen, stiff, dead. Couldn't barely do anything. He talked to me, this and that, I'm still fucking woozed out, and I heard somebody say about hospital this and hospital that. I'm trying to tell him my foot injury was frozen. I'm frozen. My brain is frozen. I'm balanced. I can't move. My body is aching me. And I can't budge anymore. Once I sat down, you know how when you sit down, you're all drained out? And that's when he asked me if to call the ambulance. I said, yes, please, call the ambulance. So what I did from there, I didn't get treated or nothing, just to talk to the explanation that when I took the taxi from there, they called the taxi for me. When I took the taxi from there, I didn't want to get into, when I get to the hospital, is, sir, you're short $7 or $8. I had like maybe $19 or 21 cents, somewhere around there. $21, 22, 23, I can't remember that. I didn't want to go there and hear, sir, you owe $7. You have to pay it right now. I didn't want to get into that argument because I cannot go to the store in the condition I was, so I played it a little smarter to avoid all that bleedy block bull crap. What I did, I took the taxi from that place from Dartmouth where the foot doctor specialist is, all the way to McDonald's. And then when I paid the $7 and I got out of McDonald's. And then when I was at McDonald's, I hurry up, bought me some coffee and waited. And the lady kept asking me, what's wrong? What's wrong? What's wrong? Are you okay? Are you okay? And I'm just sitting there, deja vu. And I remembered it. I just looked at her, just staring at her. Well, not staring, but like, hey, I'm all screwed up in my pain. I can't talk. I can talk inside my mind, but that's it. So I told her I'm waiting for the bus. I'm trying to get to the hospital. So as I seen the bus approach, I went on the bus, and the bus driver didn't want me there because I had a cloth on my foot, and you can't go on the bus without any shoes. I understand that, but I'm trying to get to the hospital. That was the main point that I tried to explain that to everybody. Bus drivers kept talking to me, giving me like, that kind of lecture. I said, yes, I understand, I understand. And I'm trying to tell him, just go to the hospital, please, just go, just drive. I'm trying to tell him I want him to take me there. I don't know how things were. I'm still blurry blinded and I'm just sitting there with the cloth in my foot. And he kind of refused me, and I guess he seen that I was falling unconscious and I'm about to pass out. I'm just looking at him, go, and I kept saying, go, just go to the hospital, go to the hospital. For some reason, something kind of convinced him on that part. I sat down, and straight from Home Depot, from Michigan Avenue, where Burger King's at, McDonald's at, Michigan Avenue in Dearborn, all the way to Oakwood Boulevard. He stopped there, got off, got onto the other bus from Boulevard in Michigan, straight to Oakwood Hospital. When I got there, man, I don't quite remember nothing. I tried to explain it, I couldn't talk. Explanation of the hospital stay wasn't said and done right. I blacked out. Once I got there, I started talking to him, tried to explain about what I'm going through, and my mind just went boom. And the only thing that I remember, that was laying on the bed in the middle of the aisle, unconscious, that I've seen an IV on my forearm, and I'm feeling. And then as I rolled my eyes down to my foot was twitching. Boom, 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 boom. And somebody said at the point, he says, everybody in the hospital's got nightmares. I said, yes, I believe it, because I do too. And that's the only thing I said. That's the only thing. I was frozen half dead in there, and I just blacked out. Didn't know what the heck was going on. And then I remember they put me through a CAT scan, and they put a boot in my foot, where you have to go through the CAT scan, and they have to do that scan. Frozen with my pain nerve system, feels like it was pinched, but it kept twitching, boom, boom. And there you can't move too much, and they kept telling me that. And I tried to explain, I was already frozen, I was already in pain, and that what it does, or they have to do some retakes, which they did one part. And then straight back to my room. Couldn't speak, couldn't do nothing. The only thing I wanted was a whole bunch of blankets and turn up the heat. And then I was there for 6 days. Terrible thing. Trying to explain that to them. Things were still not explained what I just mentioned to you guys before I got to the hospital. Maybe they'll have a better understanding. Then they took a picture of it. Somebody was talking about some nonsense thing to me, something about AIDS. I'm here for my foot injury. Everything else, what they thought it was, that was not it. It was about my foot injury. And it still goes on this way. And then, as I was explaining to them, try to explain that, I couldn't barely talk. I'm frozen. I'm like this, with my eyes cooped out. Oh, oh. Some doctor checked my foot. When how they check it, he opened it up too much, and it fucking man, they put me in pain. I was cautioned, but I was afraid at one point, because I was really, really shot, half dead in my mind, can't barely move. And I was there for 6 days. I told him to keep me there for 6 more days. Because I tried to explain my hardest and my best, which I couldn't, the condition that I was in, what happened, and the environment that I was in. Only had a kerosene heater. No drywalls, no insulation. My house was under repair. I'm the person that was fixing it, but things got backed up because I couldn't do nothing under my foot pain. So that what happened. But when I was in the hospital, in the room, bring, bring, the gas company. Now it's the next day. Oh, the gas, the gas service here, we're here, we're gonna be here at this time. I told him, forget it. I told him I have to call you back, cancel the gas. I told him I'm in the hospital right now. And that's how that happened. So the gas company couldn't come on and turn on the gas. See, now I did not have a chance being presented at my house then tell the gas company, hey, check out my meter right now. They put my meter in, but they didn't tie the top wire because the gas company and electric company are the both same company. So I got a better chance explaining to the gas company what's going on. Now things just got worse. I'm in a hospital. I told them I'm in a hospital as an emergency. I don't know when I'm going to be out, and cancel it, and I'll give you guys a call back to come back. No light and gas on yet. Still in the hospital. Now this was December 9th when they came. Now I'm still in the hospital. Now I got out the hospital. What things got screwed up was they gave me a voucher to go back home, and then I set to the address where I used to stay at somebody I got acquainted, a neighbor down the street from my house where I bought. Took the taxi there. I'm not supposed to stay there, whatever, but as I got out the hospital, he didn't know I was there. That's the problem I had with everybody. I was in the hospital half dead, surviving on my wounds and pain and frozen. That he's like, oh, what you doing here? You can't be here, this and that. And I said, yeah, I'm trying to explain to him. I just got out the hospital, this and that. I couldn't barely talk. I'm holding up a lot of pressure and pain in my head, and everybody, just talking away, and I couldn't go through all that. So then I told him, hold on, man, I'm gonna go check my house, which I shouldn't did that. I was gonna come back. So as I went to my house, I don't know what in the world it was. I had no lights, but the front of my house, I really never wanted to talk about that. But there was a time that there was a light presented in front of my porch, but there ain't no lights out there. I got no lights on my porch. I'm all banged up. Now I'm in hospitalization mode, walking all the way to my house, and I'm visualizing this. I looked at my house, and I said to myself, it was one of the weirdest things coming back from the hospital. I looked up and I said, oh my God. I said, where's the light coming from if I don't got no light? This is real late at night. It's not daytime. And I kind of looked, and I said, oh my God, I know what that is. I said, damn. I said, I survived it, dude. A lot of people still didn't understand this part. I said, fucking Lord Jesus Christ. When I approached there, my door was still open. I left everything behind the way it was. Because when I left out of there, I didn't care about nothing but hurry up and go to the doctor's place and try to get to the hospital. I did not return back to my house. From there, straight to the hospital. But when I went in there, I had a little bit of kerosene gas here and there. I said, might as well just sit here and enjoy my moment for a little bit. Turned it on, and bam, at that time, turn on the heat, I'm all there, hospitalized, and still in hospitalization mode, how when you get out the hospital. That same day, within a couple hours, then a friend stopped by, and Andrew did, and I got curious and mad about this because I said, nobody knew I bought this house. Who told you about this house? You know, as she popped up, I got surprised. I was kind of a little bit happy of it. I said, who told you that I was here? He said, Manuel did. I said, did he told you that I just got out the hospital right now? He said, no. I said, see, there goes the problem I got. People doesn't understand my whereabouts or what's happened to me. I was in the hospital, just got out. 3 hours later, I got a visitor. At the wrong place, at the wrong time. You know, he sits there, he said, you know, he goes, well, I'm gonna go ahead and buy some pops and chips, and that's what he did. So he bought some pops and chips, bought like two-liter Pepsi, 3 bags of chips and everything. You know, I said, okay, good. You know, so we're sitting there talking a little bit, and I try to explain to him what happened to me. You know, hey, you know, I just got out the hospital. I'm in hospitalization mode. I can't barely move. My foot is all banged up. You know, I'm sitting here dying, but I got the kerosene gas and I came just to check up on my house for a bit. As I'm talking to him, I had a split right here in my hand. I'm talking to him and opened my hands like that. My hands got sliced. It just split. I said, man, do you see that? He says, yeah. I said, how in the hell did I said, how in the world did I get that? But right there I already knew what it was. I said, oh, wow, man. You know, so he bleedy blobbed this a little bit, bleedy blobbed that. I'm not really paying attention too much because I'm in hospitalization mode. My condition's still there. I'm still banged up, can't barely walk or move. He stayed there for about a good 2 hours, and then he ended up left out his way. Now, for him being present there, now he knows I had a kerosene gas that wasn't worthless, that we had to be like this up to the kerosene gas, cold. See, it's freezing in there. He knows it's freezing in there because there ain't no provided heat. I got no light and service on. You know, but I'm sitting there, my mind all deja vu out. We're speaking about this and that. He was saying, I don't know what in the world he was talking about, but honest to God truth, I got dementia. He mentioned something about some passing, and he said, we'll let things be bygone, you know, whatever crap that was. Then he left his way, and I'm still there. Now, for me, not to move out of there, I couldn't barely move. It was still snowing outside. He, he left on his way. The night passed over. Bam, the next day came. Now I'm running out of kerosene gas because whatever I had left over before I went to the hospital was still there. Now, I had called Ed to take me to get some kerosene gas. He said he couldn't. But see, he didn't know. Even though I called him on the phone and asked him this, he did not know whatsoever that I was in the hospital for 6 days and I just got out of the hospital. Nobody knew. See the tragic thing I'm going through? Nobody knew. I was in the hospital half dead over there, surviving on my foot injury. They didn't think that I had hypothermia. I was freezing. Still am. And then when he says, well, I can't, I'm at work. Okay, that I understand that part. I was like, damn. You know? So I called I called the guy down the street about it. There ain't nobody else to call. Just the two people that was nearby. I asked him, he says, well, I can't right now because I'm going over Nancy's. I said, okay, I understand that. I said, but at least can you, before you go there, he's like a couple 20 blocks houses away. I said, can you at least come over here, take me to get some kerosene gas, bring me back home, and then you can go off to go visit your family or your friends or or whoever. That's all I'm asking. Because I try to tell them I cannot be without heat. Since I went to the hospital to get my foot treatment and coming back out in the cold like this and without any provided heat. Now this is an emergency. I cannot stand out here for a half hour to an hour under that foot condition what I showed you in that picture. I said no, I can't. You know, and I don't know what the problem was, but and this is the kerosene gas I was using. See that? There goes the couch right there. That's the kerosene gas I only had to use in there. See, there ain't no drywall. No. And for some reason he couldn't. I said, well, I can't hang on any longer. So this is the impossible. I had no choice. I can't carry my 5 gallon of gas container with me, fill it up, and try to walk it back, getting out the hospital with a painful chronic foot pain that I can't barely walk on it. So I used the 2 gallons. So I walked from Dartmouth and Beach Daily all the way to Van Born. There's a gas station that sells kerosene gas. As I went there, they had a paper around their kerosene gas pump handle. I said, oh, please, no, my God, after I walked all this, which I'm not supposed to, period. I was like, oh, my God, my head's all blocked up. I'm blurry blinded. I can't see. I'm still managing out here. Unbalanced, stiffed up, banged up in my foot, and now I have to get back. Now I'm getting back out in the cold that I couldn't do it. So I asked the gas station. I said, "Did you guys just pump down?" They said, "Yeah." I guess somebody said yes. I don't know who's talking because I'm blinded and I'm hard of hearing. One of them says, I said, well, my house is right now at this point. I just got out the hospital. My house is. I need kerosene gas because that's the only thing I'm relying on. That's what's keeping me warm at this point, until I get some kind of help on this part. They said, well, I asked him, I said, is the pump down? He says, yes. I was like, oh my God. Man, my heart dropped on this part after walking all that block under this foot injury and I couldn't barely walk. And one person accidentally, or I don't know what the conversation was, says from where I was at from Van Born, I had to go to Inkster Road in Van Born to get the kerosene gas. I said, do they sell it over there? I said, that's too far for me to walk. I can't walk that far getting out the hospital. I said, you know what? I have no choice because I'm not going to go through this pain. I'm not going to fall unconscious. I'm not going to end up getting no more pain burst or drop dead out in the road. So, bam, that's what I did. I walked all the way there. There was a store, like a little small gas station or store on the right hand side. Before I approached there, I stopped there and I asked them, I forgot, I guess I bought a pop at that time because they don't sell kerosene gas. But I asked him, I said, do you know if Easter Road and Van Born, do they sell kerosene gas? He said, I wish I could tell you that, but I can't answer that to you. I really don't know. I said, okay, I understand that. So I went off my way. Then, once I reached to my left-hand side, the first gas station, and there's another one across the street. And then I asked the first one, I said, hey, I came to see if you sell kerosene gas. They say you guys sell kerosene gas, and I need 2 gallons of it. He said, we don't sell kerosene gas. I said, oh my gosh, and I told him, somebody had told me that. He says, no, we don't. I said, what about the one across the street? He said, I'm not too sure if they do or don't, but you can actually try over there, but I doubt it if they do. I said, okay, so I went across the street. They didn't sell it. Now my mind has sunk down. I'm feeling real sad. I'm feeling this stress thing, what I just went through. I had called a family member. I don't know who in the world I was talking to in PR. I called him on the phone, talking to my mom, I believe, and I told her, I said, you won't believe what just happened to me, man. I said, I just got out the hospital. After reaching to the hospital, I'm dropping dead and I can't manage too good. I'm dying over here, freezing half to death. I came to look for kerosene gas and no place sells it. I walk way too far out that I cannot walk anymore. As I'm walking, pulling away about a block away from them, speaking to them on the phone, I said, I can't believe I'm going through this, man. You know, I'm over here looking for kerosene gas and I need it real bad, and I can't be out in the cold like that at my house. I have to look for, you know, some kind of place to stay. You know, these people, they're not in over here. They're not in this state. You know, they're somewhere else. And then what happened was I had three cramp issues. I had one on my calves, with that foot injury I'm showing you. One in my calves, one in my thighs, and then both of my thighs and my calf. When I'm talking about the side bridges, this is the side bridges. See that right here, this part? This cramp came about. Cramp went away, the cramp came back both at the same time. Went up in here. The cramps grabbed this issue, twisted my foot, took my toes, and cramped it up. That's what I was trying to explain that to them. You know, when you get cramps like that, while your foot's already deteriorated and all rotted up, you know, that. Can you imagine? See, that's the side bridge, where the cramps were going in there, twisting all that, twisting all these toes issues, where it's all, see all that? No skin in there? See that? Look how it bursted. That's from the swollen bust. Look at all the blood issues right here on this side. See that? All that? Those are rips of my skin stretching from the swollen. Boom! See that? Boom! It's tearing up my skin. See that? That's what that is, right there. All that right there. Then it softens up, it gets rotted up. It gets rotted up, it gets the skin starts ripping more, the more swollen it gets. You know? The cramp did that right after the hospital 2 days later. You know, that's what I try to explain to everybody. Nobody understands that. You know, now my mind is dead from that. I had them on the phone and I was screaming while they were on the phone. Ah, my foot. When those cramps hit me, screaming, yelling out. Ah. I told him I gotta hang up. I can't talk to you guys right now because I got cramps in my leg. Click. Hung up on him. Man, sitting there moaning and weeping on that shit, man. That cramp in there attacking my foot injury. That cramp was twisting it. I mean, it was doing one of the worstest thing in there of a person has a cramp issue. You know, it's like this. Let's say if you have a broken bone They had to open you up. They had to put a plate in there and shows you up and everything. Okay, then a couple days later, you get a cramp in that arm, and your arm starts twisting. What do you think it's gonna do to that? That's what I went through. That hell of pain, hell of delusion, hell of hallucination. But it's the pain. We're talking pain with that, pain with this. Man, I was out there, my fucking head just fucking blasted out. When I was walking, it was like when I had a car accident. I was in a ghost town. That's what everything looked like. Spooky. Everything dense. As I'm walking back, the atmosphere around that was no good. I said, man, I said I just can't no more. So focusing on my mind to get back home without kerosene gas, what I went there to get. Just think about it. Made it all the way home. Atmosphere dense. I'm weak. Slowly walking. My foot all pained up. Just got out the hospital. Still in foot wrap glaze. You know, roll glaze. Made it all the way back home. Stay there.